Welcome back to the Lighting Controls Podcast here live in Boston at Boston Lights by DLF New England. Right now we've got Zephan from QTL, which thank you so much for sponsoring, first of all. We really appreciate it. We cannot do these without your support. But also, QTL is just a really great product when it comes to linears, tapes, and also drivers. And so that's one of the reasons we brought you on here is to talk about all of the awesome support and resources that you have at QTL. Do you mind just giving us like the elevator pitch for QTL?
Sure, and I'm sure everyone's watching, so I'll try to do this as best I can. So QTL, formerly Qtran, 30-year-old company. Our roots are in power supply. We originally started in the basement of John Tremaine's lighting showroom in Norwalk, Connecticut. And 30 years ago, there was a big issue with halogen lighting, especially in high-end residential projects, where as you dimmed, lights started to buzz and flicker, and that was a problem.
Right.
So John sought out to improve the conditions of dimming halogen fixtures and halogen lamp performance. So he integrated a toroidal transformer in a low voltage power supply and was able to alleviate buzzing and flicker issues, making it a lot more usable, a lot more viable light source back 30 years ago. Obviously, in 2008, lots of things happened in the world, but most notably, LEDs became a very commercially viable light source. So a lot of our engineer partners and specifiers said, hey, you're using LED strip to demo your wonderful power supplies and dimmers. Can you buy the strip? Can you buy the strip as well?
Right.
We'd like to buy that from you. And a couple years later, we released our first static white, one bin, one step, 24 volt constant voltage LED strip, and the rest is history. LED strip is we know each other a long time.
Totally.
And so, I come from the theater world where LED strip is you pull it off the back of the set and you throw it out.
Right.
And that's how it goes. But it's really not that anymore. LED strip has become a very viable, very consistent light source. QTL LED strip is mostly one bin, one step, or one step, one bin. Which means that our color consistency from strip to strip, from reel to reel, from project to project is going to be immaculately consistent. Just going to give you a high color quality, and know that when you spec a project with one product and go to spec that product 6 months, 6 years later, you're going to be using the same bins. You're going to have that exact same color quality and color standardization.
Totally.
From diode to diode. LED binning is super important to us. It can be a bit of a free-for-all out there, but that color consistency is so important because we really want to make sure that when a linear fixture is up against a white or a light-colored surface, that we're getting beautiful, beautiful, consistent color. So that's the elevator pitch on our LED strip product. We're very proud of it. It's no longer just little bits of accent lighting or in your undercab in your kitchen. It's really become a viable light source for downlighting, or tegular ceilings, for task lighting, all sorts of different applications, millwork lighting, of course. But as we go into more, as we've developed the product more, and LEDs have become a more viable source in the last however many years, what is the biggest problem that we always notice?
Right.
Flicker.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, flicker is really a power supply problem.
Yes.
And there's so many inconsistencies from manufacturer to manufacturer, from component to component. QTL's roots are in power supplies. So as we've modified what was 12 volt 900 watt power transformers for things like landscape lighting, we've gone into all class 2 96 watt low voltage power supplies. And really the most important thing is testing for flicker.
Right.
One of the most important things I'll say is testing for flicker. So in our R&D process, we do try to make sure and really center the performance of the product on high performance dimming and matching our power supplies and our light engines, if you will, so that when you buy a QTL fixture and a QTL power supply, you're not going to run into those flicker issues of buying things from different big box stores, or buying some driver from one manufacturer and some strip or any sort of other different LED fixture from another manufacturer, where you're going to run into those issues. The importance of purchasing the power supply and strip or whatever the fixture is from one manufacturer, is that we can test all of our engines with our power supplies.
Yeah.
So when you go to spec one of our fixtures and one of our power supplies, we know that you're going to get that high performance dimming either to 1 or 0.1%, depending on what the project is requiring. But we can go from there.
Totally.
It's been a long day.
So you mentioned binning, and so a lot of people are probably don't fully understand what that is, right? A lot of people in the spec community do, but maybe not everyone understands binning and steps. So when you, like you mentioned, LEDs have changed dramatically. Tape light strips have changed dramatically. It used to be throwaway, and in a lot of cases, stay off Amazon, it is still throwaway, right?
Yes.
So
It doesn't have to be, though.
No, it doesn't have to be. But how do you guys, how does that work for you? How can you tell people that the product today and 6 months from now, that same product will be that same color consistency and color rendering? How do you guys maintain that?
So when in LED diode production, manufacturers, which we don't make diodes in the United States, they're all made in Asia. When you make diodes themselves, they're made very quickly. You've got an LED, you pour the phosphor on it, and then the manufacturers are going to go and ignite each LED and take a photometric reading and figure out exactly where, relative to the black body curve or the Planckian locus, as we call it, that exact white point is. The best bins are on top of or nearly next to the black body curve. The black body curve, as we all know, is the trajectory of white light, of the color temperature of the white light emitted relative to the heat of the object.
Right.
I think I got that right. And the best bins are on top of the black body curve.
Right.
So by making sure that we are getting the most consistent, tightly binned LEDs. We should probably talk about what a step is.
Yeah, sure.
So a step is plus or minus 30 Kelvin. Sometimes they call it a standard deviation color match or color matching unit, I think. And that's about plus or minus 30 Kelvin, which is the smallest range of color temperature that the human eye can notice a change in. So within one bin, every diode that ignites within that one bin, which sometimes will be a macadam ellipse on that chromaticity diagram, is the same, is consistent. So everything within that ellipse is going to be the same. When you get big, this is the analogy I like to use, not to age ourselves, but remember we used to go to Home Depot and buy 5 CFLs, get 10, because why not? And you'd get 10 different colors. CFLs were like 5 step. So that's 150 Kelvin. So noticeable, which is why they were not consistent and we really didn't like them.
Right.
Now with that tight binning, all those diodes, mounted next to each other, increments of tiny little increments of inches next to each other, they're going to be consistent. So when you put it up against a white wall or a light colored wall, it's all going to look the same.
Totally.
So super, super important.
No, absolutely. And I think the other thing that I can attest to as a specifier is that matching of the power supplies as well. So, I mean, you have this high quality light out of your strip and the high quality dimming. I mean, it's hard to compete with that. Like, that is a high quality product. And it's not a huge price point either. I mean, you guys keep it pretty economic.
We try to. I mean, there's always going to be different strokes for different projects, for different folks, and different requirements on each project. Everyone who plays, every manufacturer who plays in the Class 2 low voltage space, we're still all limited to 96 watt runs.
Right.
So our power supplies are going to be limited. We're never going to have a power supply the size of a fax machine. Not that everyone knows what a fax machine is anymore. But we can stay pretty small and still be limited to that get that full 96 watts of output.
Totally. Well, so one last question for you. If you could change anything about the lighting controls industry, or if you could get something new technology-wise or workflow-wise, what would you choose? I
wouldn't know if I would change anything, but I would say that ask more questions.
Oh, yeah.
I have been so fortunate in my career that every time I've gone to a trade show or met a manufacturer or met a specifier, the lighting industry is so wonderful in that everyone wants to answer questions. I know you guys love to be asked questions, and really, like anyone who's in playing in this space and working in this space will spend the time.
Yeah.
And so don't be afraid to ask the questions. If someone says, why is it 0 to 10 and 1 to 10, ask why that, that well, they're very close. What's the difference? Ask those questions. Why Dolly versus Dolly 2? This makes no sense. They look like they're the same thing. Ask the questions. What is DMX? Ask the question.
No, there definitely
people
needs
will
to be
answer.
more curiosity.
Yes.
Yes.
So I would say if one thing could change, it's open that curiosity. Stop locking that away. There are lighting nerds like us all over the
Right.
place.
Yep.
And we all want to answer. We all want to be. I love nothing more. My booth's over there, and you've seen me over the past day.
I love it.
I love when people come up and start asking questions. Let's learn together.
Definitely.
And that is something that I've found to be so wonderful about the lighting industry, and is a big part of why I've stayed in the lighting industry.
Totally.
Since I got out of college, is people want to help and people want to educate. And I want to learn.
Right.
The second you stop learning, it's over.
Yeah, totally.
So, and shows like Boston Lights, like Education, even like LDI and USITT on the theater side of things. Like, you go to learn. They don't do 25 different presentations for nothing.
Right.
It's not just about getting your CEUs. Like, they're wonderful topics. They're really, really minute, crazy, different, new ways of learning and new things to learn, and go learn it, be curious, and stop being afraid to ask questions. My favorite thing is in my email, just to get a random question from a specifier, and then you open a can of worms, and then 3 months later you got 4 or 5 specs, and you're going to lunch, and it's you've made these new relationships. So ask the questions.
Fantastic answer. Absolutely fantastic answer.
Ask the questions.
Well, thank you, Zevin. Really
My pleasure.
appreciate
This
you
is so much
coming on.
fun.
Yeah, no, definitely. And hopefully you guys will get a chance. If you haven't been here yet, you've only got a couple hours left. So come down to Boston Lights.
Come check out QTL. We're at booth 500. I'll be here all afternoon. I can't wait to see you.